Hey Ridgeway fam, this is Josh Hacking. For those of you who don't know me and my wife Jess and our 3 kids go to Ridgeway. We've been going for about 5 years now. And I just, because of this is September Recovery Awareness Month, I want to just kind of dive into how God has brought me through my pornography addiction and then also what he's done on the other side of that. So let's just go right into it. My senior year of high school was really the first time I ever had any kind of access to pornography. My parents were very good at proactively having filters on our internet so that nothing could come up. We couldn't search anything. And I really thank them for that. But my senior year is when I got my first laptop, and it was kind of my own as I was taking it off to college. And that's really where my pornography addiction started. My pornography addiction lasted from senior year of high school, the end of my senior year, to really the end of my sophomore year of college. And in between that whole time, I really felt like I was living a double life. I had this secret sin that I would keep, to myself and not tell anybody. But then also I would go to, church and kind of put on that fake face of like, I know what to say, I know how to act. But really it was just this thing inside me that was just eating away at me. I really didn't realize the effect it had on my relationships and also even my future marriage and what it would do with that as well. Towards the end of my sophomore year, I decided that enough was enough. And I, by the grace of God, was able to be free of pornography. And what I didn't realize is the long-term effects of watching pornography after you've even are done watching it. Fast forward a little bit, I got married, and the first couple years of my marriage were really just filled with anger and unrealistic expectations on my part because of just the effects, the after effects of pornography and what it had done. It kind of rewired my brain in a way. And so, that took some years of healing to get through. And what speaking of that, my shirt, Porn Kills Love, is, totally true. Porn completely kills and pollutes any idea of love that God has for us, because God is love. And so ultimately we try to strive to love like God. Jesus began to heal me. He began to heal not only my addiction, but then also my brain afterwards, and even my marriage as well. And I really began to start to love how God calls us to love one another, is unconditionally, and how he loves us. And so through many years of proactively fighting against pornography with tools God has given me and the accountability groups he has put in my life, I have now been able to do unimaginable things in my regard that I could never even begin to explain. I have walked with, I have mentored, and then I've also led some accountability groups in our church today, and some men's groups. And it is just beyond anything that I could ever think that God could use me for. And so I just kind of want to end with a little story of a few years back when I was in youth group. I was a leader in youth group, and we were doing this exercise at the end of worship where we would write down letters to God. And at the end, we would pray over the letters and then put them in this special water, and the letters would disappear. Well, as I was writing down my letter, I just felt really led to write down all these past sins that I've committed and all these, the pornography addiction I had and all these different things. And when I got to the end, I started to pray over this letter, and I started to see this image of God in his office. And me coming up to God, at his desk in his office, and taking my eyes out and my brain out and literally handing them to God and saying, I've done nothing but evil. I've done nothing but shame you with these. Please take them away. And I just remember God taking them, putting them back in, putting my eyes back in, putting my brain back in, and saying, no, I have created you to do my will. You will do good, and you will do my will from now on. And I just remember after that, all of any shame or any weight that I had felt from my past addiction, my past life, had literally just lifted right off of me. And so I just want to read this one verse that has really stuck with me through basically my entire life. It's Jeremiah 29:11 through 13. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans for welfare and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope, that you will call upon me and come and pray to me, and I will hear you. You will seek me and find me when you seek me with all your heart. And I think this is especially true in my life. I really felt like I was seeking God half-heartedly with my addiction on the side, with my addiction, in secret. And so I felt like once I was able to, God was able to bring me through all of that. I was able to earnestly seek him with all my heart and all that I have and truly experience all God has for me. And I just pray that if there's any men or women that are struggling with pornography, that you would come and that you would share it with a brother or sister in Christ, that you would bring it to the light, because once these secret sins are brought to the light, they have no power. That is the power. The power is the darkness. Once you bring it into the light, it ceases to have power. And so my prayer for you is that you would just be able to do that and ultimately just experience the love that God has for you, as I have as well.